Hello, Remax West. Happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful sunny weekend that we had. I don't mind that it's raining today because I'm in the office working anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I thought that I was actually going to talk to you about information that OFSI brought out and all kinds of stuff, but as I was reviewing my notes, I thought, oh my God, this is going to turn into like an hour video. It's just too hard to do in a few minutes. And I love to chat. And I love talking about money and mortgages and all kinds of stuff. And I love talking about how the macro has an impact on the micro and has an impact on rates and has an impact on our clients. So it's all connected. Anyway, what I thought I'd share with you is really what's happening to your clients. And as you're calling your database, maybe start listening for, when they're talking and you say, hey, how are you? How are things? How's the family? And then they start talking about people dying or people getting laid off or work not being able to get done around the house, or, when there's a little bit of a rant or a complaint. This is how some Canadians are starting out right now. And this example is a perfect example because these clients have been in their situation now for 4 years. So it's a real example of how long people are willing to stay in their problems before it's gone off the rails. And so while I might want to talk about OFSI and all this other stuff, I really want to talk about taking care of people and making sure that lives don't go off the rails. And you see this little frame here? It says, teach and you will feed for a lifetime. So that's what I want to do. And that's what I want this video to be about. Because if you hear this sort of stuff for clients, this is where they're really going to need help. And clients who, I'm not even talking about clients who are having rate increase impacts because of mortgage maturing. 76% of Canadians still have to renew their mortgages. So the only people who have had the rate impact is people who are on variable mortgages. But all those smart clients, like all my smart clients, that they still have 1.54 or 1.59 for the next 2 years. But they're ready for their renewal. At least my clients are, but a lot of Canadians aren't. So I wanted to share this particular file with you. This is an owner-occupied single-family dwelling in Markham, Stouffville, husband and wife with 2 kids. The value of the property just hovers a little bit over $1 million. He works for the school board and she works as an administrator, right? In a good old-fashioned office. And when COVID hit, she lost her job because everything got shut down. And with inflation happening and the bills piling up, they ended up getting into a lot. They maxed out all their credit card debts. And then after that, what they wanted to do was consolidate that debt. So they heard of a government program, which ended up being credit counseling. And so they ended up going through credit counseling, which completely dragged their credit bureau through the mud. And then when they did that, they tried to reestablish their credit. So they got Capital One credit cards for $18,000 limit, which, if everything was going well, would have been a good strategy to help them rebuild their credit. But what happened instead was they racked up those credit cards. And so now they have already low beacon scores. And then because they have high utilization, their credit has gone down to the toilet. Well, now they started making a couple of late payments on their mortgage. And so they went back to their first mortgage lender and said, hi, can we refinance? And when the mortgage lender looked at their credit, they were like, oh, not only can we not refinance you, but we have to close down your secured line of credit. You have to pay it out. And we can no longer offer you a 5-year fixed on your renewal. We can only put you on a 6-month convertible. And that rate is at 9.75%. So they ended up going to a mortgage broker and they consolidated all their debt into a private second mortgage. So they paid off the Scotia line of credit because they had to close it down. They paid off their credit cards, all the fees, $52,000 later. Now their mortgage, their private is coming up for renewal, and they've racked up their credit cards. They have a $52,000 private, and they have a first that's also over 9.5%. I mean, it's just insanity what these clients are going through at the moment. And you would think that even though this deal is at 65% loan to value, nobody wants to touch them because they're realizing these clients really don't have money even to pay it out once. They don't even have money to pay out our payment. And there's a lot of late payments. So these kinds of struggles are, people don't understand the impacts and the ramification it has when they start making late mortgage payments. So you also want to encourage clients to not pay their mortgage payments. And then, you know, in the last pandemic, what happened was banks were offering, oh, we'll give you payment reliefs. Well, those payment reliefs do get reported on credit bureaus, and that does have an impact on when you want to refinance or renew your mortgage as far as what the rate is going to be. And so this is a story that has been evolving for the last 4 years. And when I tried explaining to them that, listen, we are dipping into your equity of your property every time that we do this, they're now starting to realize. She at one point came back to me and said, oh my God, Michelle, does this mean that we have to sell our house? And I said, well, I can't tell you if you need to sell your house or not, but I gave you your budget and I've given you all the numbers. And if you've been doing all of your homework, you and your husband will know whether or not you can afford these payments. And she basically broke down into tears because she started realizing it. And so it's been several years of this going on, and I've already been dealing with this file for the last 4 months. Only now is she finally coming to grips with her reality of her numbers. So these things do not happen overnight, and this is actually why I wanted to share this, because this file really breaks my heart. And this whole idea of teach and you feed for a lifetime, shame on the previous mortgage broker that did not explain all these things to her. She was like, Michelle, I don't understand. Why didn't the other mortgage broker explain this to me? And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And so, I'm already 8 minutes into this video, and if you've made it this far, I really do appreciate it. If you're listening this long, you're the person that I want to work with. Because that means that you care about people, you're listening to a situation as to what's happening. And as you're talking to clients, find out if people have been dying, if people are sick, if there has been a job loss in the past, but they're getting back on their feet again. Those are all flags of what might actually be happening. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Have yourselves a great week. You know that if you need anything, I'm a phone call away. I am happy to give a half-hour free consultation to your clients. And most of the time it ends up being way more than that. And it ends up being several months down the line of having to take care of them. So call me if you need anything, and let's try to, like Frank Colatasti says, we are in the people business. And so let's take care of those people that we already know and that we've taken care of in the past. Have yourselves a great week. Take care.